welcome to Science with Miss Bright. Today we have a new mystery science investigation. Let's get started. All right, so we do have our mystery science investigation envelope. Inside we have a note that reads, "Hi scientist, today we're going to have an apple oxidation investigation. Love the investigator." So for today in our investigation, we're going to discover what works best to keep an apple from turning brown. We do have our question board here before we begin our investigation. So our question for today is, what solution will work best for keeping an apple from turning brown? All right, again, what solution will work best for keeping an apple from turning brown? All right, so the first step in the scientific method is to come up with a prediction. So my prediction is, I think the salt water will work best. All right, so again, I think the salt water will work best as far as keeping the apple from turning brown. Our next step is to list out the materials that we're going to need for our investigation. So we're going to need an apple, water, a plate, vinegar, salt, sugar, and Ziploc bags. All right, so again, the materials that we're going to need today: an apple, water, plate, vinegar, salt, and sugar, as well as Ziploc bags. The next step in the scientific method is to list out the steps that we're going to use during our investigation. So step number 1, slice up an apple. Step number 2, pour solutions into Ziploc bags. Step number 3, place a slice of apple into each bag. Step number 4, lay apple slices on plate. And then step number 5, observe. All right, so again, our steps are: slice up an apple, pour solutions into Ziploc bags, place a slice of apple into each bag, lay apple slices on plate, and finally observe. So it's time to get started on our investigation. Our first step says to slice up an apple. This is something you have to do with the permission of an adult, actually probably with the assistance of an adult. All right, so our first one, I'm just gonna slice up the 4 pieces that I need for each of the solutions that I have. Okay, so we have our 4 pieces of apple here. Step number 2 says to pour the solutions into the bag. So I've already labeled each bag. So I have water, sugar water, salt water, and then vinegar. So the two that have the sugar and salt already have the salt and sugar in the bags just to make it a little bit easier. So all I'm going to do is add the water and the vinegar into the bags just to make it easy. So our first one is vinegar. So I'm gonna go ahead and open the Ziploc bag. Here's my vinegar. Pour it in. I'm gonna place it up there. Our second one is salt water. So again, the salt I've already poured into the bag prior to, just to make it a little bit easier. So I'm just gonna add just a little bit of water, enough for it to, for the apple to soak it up. Our next one is sugar water. So again, sugar's already there. I'm just adding water to it. And I'm just sitting these bags up. And then our last one is water by itself. So I'm simply just going to pour the water in and then Ziploc and zip this one up as well. So step number 2 is done. Step number 3 says to place a slice of apple into each bag. So I'm just gonna do that very simply. So here's my water bag. I'm just opening it up and then dropping a slice in. So it looks just like this. Here's our sugar water. Dropping a slice in. Again, sealing it up. Our salt water. Dropping that slice in. Oops. And then we have our vinegar. And again, dropping that slice in. So we're gonna let these sit just for a few minutes, probably about 5 minutes. And then we're going to take them out and lay them on the plates so that we can start to observe which apple is starting to brown first over the others. All right, step number 4 says to lay the apple slices on the plate, and step number 5 says to observe. So I'm gonna go ahead and take each apple slice out. So this first one's water, so I'm gonna place it on the top of the plate, just so I remember. I'm going to take the vinegar one and place it on the opposite side of the water one. And this one has a different smell from the others, so it shouldn't be too hard. So we have water and vinegar laid out on the plate. We're gonna put salt water on the right. And we're gonna put sugar water on the left. Oh, and the salt water has a sticker on the back of it, so that works too. So salt water. And our last one is the sugar water. So you have to be very careful how you place them so you don't forget which one is which. Like I said, the easiest one's gonna be vinegar because of the smell. And then I know that the salt water has a sticker on it, so make sure you're careful that you know and you can tell the differences between each. So I'm gonna let them sit here for about 3 minutes first and start to see what's happening to each of the apple slices. And then I'm gonna wait for a few more minutes to continue to observe. All right, so it's been about 3 minutes since I've had the apple slices sitting out. And I know it's going to be difficult to see on video, but from what I can tell, I see some brown on the vinegar and the water. Not a whole lot, but a little bit. And then on the salt water, And the sugar water, there's almost completely no brown. You can see there's hints of it, but it almost looks like a fresh apple slice even after sitting here for a few minutes. So it appears that my prediction was correct. I said I think that the salt water would be best for causing the apple not to brown so soon, and that was correct. A part of that now is the fact that the sugar water also did the same thing or had the same results. So my prediction was correct. I just want to thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope it helped you grow your brains. Again, this is something you can try at home with the assistance and the permission of an adult, and I look forward to seeing you all very soon. Take care, stay safe, bye. Love, Miss Bright.